everyone, it's Jen and Kanata, and I'm just doing a video on menu planning. I do a lot, you see my videos of what my menu plan is for each week, and has really helped me save money, stay on task, and not have things go bad. So there's two ways to menu plan. You could go through your recipes and make a menu plan for the week or for the month or forever how long you want. Write down the recipes and then write down the ingredients that you need. That works, and that way you only buy those ingredients. Another way to menu plan is to first go through your pantry and fridge and freezers. See what you already have. If there's anything that needs to get used up, like lettuce and stuff like that, that's going to start wilting in 3 or 4 days, you will want to put that early on into your menu plan. And then search for recipes, or then go shopping and buy the stuff on sale, and then search for recipes with the ingredients you already have. That type of menu planning really works well when you already have a fairly stocked cabinet of spices and pantry items, because you could always do substitutions if you do not have those ingredients, or you can go to the store for that one ingredient that you're missing that tends to be a key ingredient for the recipe. But to save money, you should really look and take an inventory. You should try, like I'm bad at it. I'm good at making the inventory, but looking back and replenishing it, or crossing things off as we use them and adding things as we add things to them, like adding leftovers into the freezer. I sometimes forget to write that in the inventory. But going through your inventory of what you actually have that you should use up. For example, in my fridge right now, because I haven't done groceries yet, I would normally do them today, but it's being postponed till Saturday, so that is fine. I know I have lettuce and stuff for salads for next week, so I don't think I'm going to buy. No, I'm going to buy one lettuce. I'm not going to buy a whole bunch of lettuce because I have enough. It's lasted this long. It's lasted 2 weeks because of the Tupperware fridge smarts, and they're not bad at all. So I have lettuce. I have some tomatoes, so I'll probably need tomatoes, and get 1 cucumber because I did not use 3 cucumbers last week. I still have one I haven't touched, so I might get 1 more cucumber. But that type of thing goes, like, I just throw salads into with meals that I just don't necessarily know what else to throw with them. And my family, I know, will eat salads of just a basic salad: lettuce, tomato, cucumbers. We will have that every second day, at least. If not, we'll go fancier, make it a Greek salad, or make it a feta touche salad with crispy pita chips, or a tomato bocchini salad, which is a family favorite. We actually had that for supper last night. But each week you should go through your recipes, go through Pinterest, go through your cookbooks, find recipes that inspire you. These are some of my favorites. As you can see, I put little sticky notes at the ends of recipes that I want to try, so I don't have to go through them again to just look for recipes. So I'll go through the sticky notes. When I tried a recipe, I print it off or copy it, and I put it in here. I also, if it's from Pinterest, I will save it in my Pinterest folder of tried and true recipes that I know I've done it before. I know it's not going to fail on me if I follow it. Speaking of which, you can follow me on Pinterest. I'm Jenn and Kanata as well there. I'm also Jenn and Kanata on Instagram. I don't really know how to do Instagram very well, but you can follow me there, as well as on Twitter. I'm Jenn and Kanata. I'm Jenn and Kanata everywhere. Sometimes there's spaces in Jenn and Kanata, and sometimes it's all squished together. So I do have links in my About Me field to all those places. So a thing is to have a binder. Like this isn't fancy. I'm repurposing and reusing a binder that was for something else, for possibly my husband's work or a friend's work. Another thing to do is what I've done with my family is I've done, I don't know where I put my cue cards. I have cue cards with on them the recipes, or at least the title of the recipes of what my family likes, and I put their name on it. So it will say, you know, tabbouleh, and then I'll say Rowan because she likes tabbouleh. So I know I will go through, if I'm looking to be inspired to fill in the menus, I'll go, oh, let's find things that I know my family likes. Also, when trying new recipes, try not to do more than 1 or 2 recipes a week that are new. And also make sure you do them on a day, say, after there's leftovers of something that your family does like. For example, if your family loves lasagna, make sure that there's leftovers of lasagna and try a new recipe afterwards. So if there's anybody, and then give everybody small portions. If people don't like it, they can have leftovers from the day before. Sometimes also, maybe the recipe's, not a good one. Maybe, or you accidentally burnt it because you forgot to set a timer or something, or it's just not turning out well. Or you might have forgotten an ingredient and you did a substitution that you thought would work, and that substitution doesn't work. Most substitutions, you could one vegetable for another and stuff, but sometimes it changes the flavor profile. Like adding broccoli to a dish will make the dish taste like broccoli, or adding asparagus or Brussels sprouts. Has a different taste than, say, carrots. So, making sure that for your family to want to eat your meals, that there are some of their family favorites in any given week that they will like. I use Flippy App to search for the ingredients for certain recipes. Like, for example, this weekend is Thanksgiving, so I'm gonna make pumpkin pie. I don't really care about certain prices of certain things, but I know I have canned pumpkin downstairs, so I don't have to buy it. I also have my own personally canned pumpkin that I would have to make a puree of and cook it down. So I'm just looking for ingredients. So I searched for the recipe and I found a couple of spices that I make sure that I either have here or it's on my grocery list so I can pick it up. Also check with the weather. Okay, so what I cook in the summertime is completely different than what I cook in the wintertime. My family is much more likely to want to eat a soup in the wintertime because I tend to make bigger, hearty soups. Well, in the summertime, they're not going to want to have a soup. They might have pho or like a ramen soup, but they're not going to want a stew or a cream soup or anything like that. Keep a journal. So what I'd like to do is, I'll find it on my book here. I'll show it to you. Write down the days of the month and the days and what's planned versus just doing it on there. And then that way I can look back and say, oh, it's been a while since we've had porcupine balls with mashed potatoes. So how about we make that? So you're not having the same thing over and over again, and it gives you some variety. And then it also helps you to be inspired. If you really don't want to take the time to look at menus or that, just go back to a following week of menus that you liked, the recipes that you liked, and just copy it again, And if you're lucky enough to have the grocery list to go with it as well, copy that as well. Then it's a no-brainer, But keeping a menu journal, I sometimes slack on that too because but it really does help a lot. I'm just gonna turn that a little bit. Another thing is what I like to do is use a Google Calendar on my phone. I have a thing on there that I write in every day what the menu is for that day. And some things I will even do it, like if I know it's a family favorite, I will put it to repeat every month on this day. Like say on the 4th of the month, I'll say my family really likes having hot and sour soup and dumplings. So I will put that down once a month, and then every week, every month on the 4th, it'll pop up as a menu item. Do we have to eat it on the 4th? No, of course not. But even with my menu that I put down Monday to Friday, it's flexible. So if something happens something happens on that day that wasn't planned, and say we're home late, we could switch it to something that's a quick meal. Because some of my meals are quick, throw in the microwave, throw in the oven, they're already cooked, and they can be done in 30 minutes. Some of them need a lot of prepping, and some could be taking all day, like a turkey dinner. I'm not going to do a turkey dinner if I spent the day at the children's hospital all day, because it's never going to get done. It's just not. It's not possible. Also, look at your calendar. With the calendar, you will also see the activities the other appointments you have. So look at the calendar, see what days you have doctor's appointments, see what days your kids have ball practice, hockey practice, dance lessons, whatever. Those days you're probably going to either want something quick to eat beforehand or something quick to have afterhand, depending on when you have those activities. And some things you don't want to eat right before doing an activity that involves a lot of like vigorous work, like hockey and sports and stuff like that, because you'd get upset stomach. If you want to, I personally don't do this as much, but you can go with theme nights. So if you really want to be, if you're really lacking inspiration, you can go like meatless Mondays, a soup night, a chicken night, a beef night, a Mexican night, whatever you want, to just to give you that spark of something to do. Then that way you don't have the same type of meals every day. For example, if you go a meatless Monday, just because it starts with M, and say Fish Friday, you know that the next time you have fish might not be till Friday. And say Chicken Wednesday. Well, on Wednesday you'll have chicken, but on Thursday you might have beef. So you'll have a variety. It's always good to have a variety of proteins and a variety of vegetables, so you make sure you get all the nutrients that your body actually needs. This way it also helps you not get into this rut, which has happened to me many times. I'll be like, oh, I'm going to do chicken cacciatore and then chicken fajitas, and oh yes, I'll make a chicken soup here. So there's lots of chicken, but there's not a lot of other stuff. So you want to try and do that to switch things up, or to give you inspiration, so that, like, for example, to save money, my family tends to have, especially winter months, once a week a soup. That soup tends to be either a planned soup or a vegetable beef or vegetable chicken or something type soup, or it'll be like a garbage pail soup where it's taking a whole bunch of the leftovers of vegetables and meat and throwing it together with some pasta or beans or something, or making some sort of chili. We will have that as a meal with maybe some grilled cheese sandwiches, and we're good to go. Personally, I like it when I make fresh bread, and I can just have soup and fresh bread. But hubby likes a little bit more, something substantial. And another way to be successful at menu planning is to choose a shopping day and make a shopping list. I write down all the items that I need to get at the grocery store in my Flip app. I search for the best price. Then I use that to price match at the stores that allow price matching, or I physically go to those stores and get those deals. I will go through the recipes and make sure that I have all the spices and all the little bits and bobs in there. If it just says pasta, make sure I have some pasta that my family likes. It might not be the same pasta shells that are in the book, but if I haven't gone to the store yet, I will possibly pick those pasta shells, the specific ones that were in the cookbook, versus making do with what we have at home. Especially if I can get on sale. But some things that I might not necessarily have at home all the time, like for example, if I need a special sauce or a special seasoning or some tortillas, I don't always have tortillas. I do usually have tortillas. I pick them up every grocery, not every grocery, every second grocery haul. I only go every 2 weeks. But if my family gets in the kick of having wraps for lunches or after school snacks, or if they all of a sudden don't want to have a really big meal and they want to just make some quesadillas, some cheese quesadillas, I'm fine with that. So I just have to make sure that on the days that we have stuff that uses the tortillas, we have tortillas on hand. And like checking what's on sale. For example, I looked at my Flip app on Wednesday because I was planning on doing groceries today. It's now being postponed until Saturday. So the most of the flyers end Wednesday here, and the new flyers came out on Thursday. So Wednesday, I could see the current flyer as well as the flyer for this week. So I searched turkey and ham to see what was the best price, and cauliflower and things like that. And I picked up a turkey and ham yesterday because I can get it for 95 cents a pound, versus this week the cheapest it was $1.79 a pound. A ham, I got a spiralized ham for $1.99 a pound. And this week, the cheapest I could find it for, I don't even think it was a spiralized ham, I think it was just a plain ham, was $2.99. So I'm like, well, of course I'm going to go get it when it's cheaper. The ham is in my fridge. It's good in my fridge till November 4th or something. I don't know how that happens. The turkey is in my fridge defrosting because it's defrosting in the fridge. It'll take a couple of days to defrost, and we will eat it on Monday. I was going to be doing it, actually I'll be doing it tomorrow now, because I was going to be doing it tomorrow, then it got changed to be doing Monday, but now it's back to tomorrow because plans changed again, because that's how life is. But that's why, like, my menu plan can be movable. It does not have to be set in stone. Some people have to have it set in stone, and that is perfectly fine too. Also, make a plan for leftovers at least once a week. Don't plan something for supper, but plan it to be a leftover day. So it could be a smorgasbord, so you might have like half a lasagna here, a bowl of pasta here, the leftover soup here. Have it all on the table like a buffet. The kids and your family will love it, because that and also make note of what things everybody's fighting for the last bits of, because those things make double next time, and freeze it. Then that way you have a freezer meal in your freezer for those days when it gets crazy, because everybody's going to have those days that's going to get crazy. You'll have a backup of your family favorites that they're fighting for the leftovers, because there's always something in the leftovers that everybody wants more of. But planning for leftovers, even for lunches, is a great way to not waste. Another tip that is helpful, I don't always do, because I do grocery shop for a long time. I shop for 5 or 6 hours, and I get home, I just put the stuff in the fridge. But a lot of times, the next day or on the weekend, prepping your food for the week, like chopping up the onions, chopping up peppers, whatever you need to get done, will help you save time on those days. If you have lettuce, washing the lettuce and drying it so it's ready. You can shred zucchini for stir fries and stuff, and you can, cook up the ground beef for the spaghetti sauce. That type of stuff that anything you can do before the meal is great. You could even prep your whole week's worth of meals and put them in the fridge or freezer. It's not, or do half a week's worth of meals and then have leftovers. Whatever works for your family. I am planning on doing a lot more freezer meals, and a lot more one-day preps, because I know my family's schedule for the fall and winter. It gets kind of busy. It gets kind of hectic, and with the weather and stuff, you never know who's going to get delayed from work, who's going to get delayed from activities and stuff. And I want to have something that I can literally take out the night before, make sure it's defrosted, throw it in the oven, throw it in the microwave because it's already going to be cooked or already prepared to be cooked, and have something that can be cooked from defrosted in 30, 45 minutes. And that's what my goal is. If that's your goal, that works too. Another way to do it is to also just get things prepped, the components for a meal. So, if you know that you have squash on a day, peeling it and cutting it into cubes. You can pre-cook the rice for the stir fry tomorrow. You can season the meats that you're going to use and put them in the fridge. Like for the next 2 days, get the meats out, season them, put them in the fridge. So they nice and marinate. So it's like a lot of these meats will absorb the marinade, and for 24 hours it makes the meat so much juicier, so much more flavorful. And another thing that's helpful for saving money and saving time in menu planning is double batch cooking. So if you can, I would strongly recommend to look at your menu every week and choose one dish that you double. Double the meat, double every component from it. Pre-make it and either pre-cook it fully and then freeze it, or pre-make it so you can wrap up so that all you have to do is cook it at the end. If you can do that, you already have one meal, say for next week or for the week after, in the freezer, so you don't even have to do the stuff for it. Another thing is that you should also try to keep a very well-stocked pantry, because that way things like, for example, I'm not doing groceries today. I have friends who have a very minimal pantry, and when they don't go grocery shopping on the day that they normally go grocery shopping, they've eaten everything in the house, that there's like nothing left. I know people who shop every single day almost, and they don't have anything left. So God forbid that they're sick because they don't have anything to back on. For example, I always have Campbell's soup. I always have ramen noodles. I always have Chef Boyardee. So if Mummy's sick and my family has to fend for themselves and they don't really want to take the effort to do something, to make something, those three items are easily made and very convenient that they can continue to do. And always make sure when you're using your spices and stuff and they're getting low, make a note. I have a spot in here like for paper. There we go. It has paper in here that I can write what we're out of. So when it's grocery time, I already have a grocery list started. Another way to do it is to do all of your meals as freezer meals. And then that way you can pick and choose the meal from the freezer every single day. So, those are just some tips that I wanted to share with you about meal planning and how to save money and what works for me and what I'm trying to also strive to do better. Because, I mean, I'm not perfect. I mean, ask my family. Okay, there are times that I have stuff written down, and I don't really want to make that, so I'm not going to make that. And then there's times that we get home and it's 5 o'clock, and it's like, what's for supper? I'm like, I don't know. I don't want to make that. And we might break down and make Kraft dinner and hot dogs, but we have that if we wanted. You know, we always have Kraft dinner on hand. You know, and my kids would be ecstatic for that. My kids are weird. They're like really happy when I go and if we go on a date night, hubby and I, and they want to make Kraft dinner. I was like, go ahead, because I hate Kraft dinner. I ate so much of it as a child that I absolutely despise it. I love mac and cheese, like homemade mac and cheese, absolutely. But Kraft dinner, KD, what we have it here, it's okay, you know. But my kids like it, and they think it's all fancy. So that's how it is. Feel free, comment below what works for you. If there's anything I missed, also check out the other videos. I'll link the playlist of my menu planning series up above. I will also be sharing with you some prepping stuff in the next couple weeks of things I'm going to be prepping for the week ahead. I'm getting more to do more stuff on the weekends, so I'm not spending so much time in the kitchen every day at home, because I still want to cook from scratch. But there's some things I want to make sure that there's some stuff that's prepped, that's more convenient for my kids and for my family. So it's not me spending every day an hour or so in the kitchen. So, and then if I have to use a food processor, use something, I just have to use it once, and then I have to clean it. I don't have to clean it every single day. So, there we have it. So, feel free to like, share, and subscribe, and comment below. What are you having for supper tonight? Tonight we are having steak and baked potatoes and salad. Bye!